Good morning and welcome to Qigong Live Online today, and we're going to do some warm-up exercises first, and then we're going to go and do some circles, some big rotation circles today, which are part of lots of Qigong exercises, and we're going to break it down a little bit so we go into a bit more of the advanced understanding. Yeah, but we start with just stretching our body first. We're going to do the sinew relaxing method today. So if you're new to this, to the weekly classes, the free weekly classes, so what we're doing is the forest rocks. These are sinew stretching methods, and it's what it is using a different part of your body to exercise another part. So I'm moving my elbows and I'm letting my wrists just relax, so there's no tension in the wrist at all. If you're just completely relaxed, and I'm using my elbows to do that, and I'm going to do the whole body like that, using a different part, and just let one part relax completely. And so there's no tension in my wrists, they're just flopping backwards and forwards. Yeah? Good. Now I move my elbows around, I can do circles with my wrists. And so we're trying to get the relaxation in all parts of the body. We're trying to activate all the ligaments, tendons, all the fascia in the body. And by doing that, we're doing it as a relaxed method. So the sinew relaxing method is about just letting the sinews relax. Cool. And you can do them sideways like this. Let's do it with the elbows. Good. Good. Now we're going to do our elbows, and to move our elbows, we're going to move our shoulders. Yep. And we can move our shoulders and do circles, so we can let our elbows relax. And of course, we're letting our elbows relax and our wrists relax. We'll go back the other way. Now, a lot of this is coming from my hips, by the way. My hips is generating the movement of the shoulders. Just make it easier for you. Cool. And then go back the other way on the other side. Just move my hips backwards and forwards. It takes a bit of practice learning how to do this, but so I'm moving my hips backwards and forwards, and I'm moving my shoulder from that, and the elbows just relax completely. Yep. And then we're going to do circles. Now this is a shortened version of this because you can do this for a long time. We're only going to do 5 or so 10 minutes of warm-ups before we do our class, but normally you do longer than that. But for the idea of this class, or the concept of this class, we won't spend too much time on it. Yep. Now, cool. Let them go forward and backwards. Good. Now shoulders. To move your shoulders, I'm moving my hips. The hips backwards and forwards, move your shoulders. Yep. Very good. Then the same thing, if I move my hips, I can let my shoulder relax. So now the shoulder and the elbow and the wrist is relaxed. Go back the other way. I'm moving my hips to do this. So the arm's just hanging. It's not the arms. I'm not doing anything. If the arm's just flopping, I'm just doing circles with my hips. It's making the arm move. Yeah. Very good. Very cool. Do the other one. Back the other way. Now you can actually do this full rotation, because to start off with, you can use your muscles to pull the arm on. But if you use your hips enough, you can actually get the arm going by itself, and you don't actually have to. And all you have to do is throw your hips fast, and it throws your arm up. And it's like I can just keep moving my hips, and the arm's just flopping by itself. Yeah. Just beware if you have shoulder injuries not to do it like this, because you want to do more passive stretching than this. Very cool. Very good. So we can move our hips backwards and forwards. We move our shoulders forward and backwards. Good. And if we go side and side, we can do them both ways. And so the shoulders, elbows, wrists all relaxed. So the whole arm is just flopping. Yep. But it's moving all the joints, stimulating all the ligaments. Very good. Very good. Now we're going to do our neck. We'll flop our neck forward and backwards, and just move our hips forward and backwards, and just let the neck flop forward, flop backwards. Just relax the neck forward and back, and just let the ligaments stretch. And the sinews. Chinese medicine, they call the ligaments, the tendons and the fascia, they call them sinews. They have a different name for them. And the sinews is the whole gamut of all the different structures in the body that help all the articulations, the ligaments, tendons, and sinews. And they call it the sinews. And they have sinews meridians. They have sinews channels where all the sinews are owned by particular organs as well. So the lung has a lung meridian, but it also has the lung sinews meridian, or lung sinews channel, sometimes they call it. Moving side to side. Just move your hips from side to side. Good, and then do complete circles. Just let your head flop forward, let it go backwards, then go forward, then go back. Very good. Now we can do our spine. We can do our spine two different ways. There's a lot of different ways. So we're going to move our hips and just let the spine relax. Just let the arms, of course the arms are nice and relaxed now, so just let them hang. And just move your hips and then relax your spine the best you can. Right up to your neck. And just feel the spine moving. Yep. And the muscles either side of the spine, just relax them by just, because we're only moving our hips and nothing else. It's easier to do, yeah? Very good. Now we're going to do another version of that, is where we don't move the hips and we move our shoulders for our spine. So we're going to move our shoulders from side to side. Don't pick your shoulders up though, keep your shoulders relaxed and just move your shoulders from side and don't move your hips. And then it'll twist your spine backwards and forwards, yeah? And so you'll feel the muscles in your spine moving when you do this, but don't move your hips. Now, don't say lock your hips as in keeping them stiff. I just mean don't move them. So difference between, you don't want to have them stiff. We're trying to relax. So you don't want to have your hips stiff. So you just have them so they don't move. And there's a difference between having them not moving and having them locked. different feeling, different terminology. I love this exercise. You can feel it moving all the muscles all the way up my spine. All the way either side of my spine. You can hear them, feel them relaxing. It's a great feeling. Okay, can you get me a glass of water, please? He didn't hear that. Thank you. It's really hot. I'm in Bali today and she's steaming hot. It's a blue sky day and it's really humid. So we're in the middle of I don't know if you call it the Indonesian summer. I don't know, Indonesia has summer all year round, but it's this time of the year. She's pretty hot. Cool, there you go. So now we're going to move our hips. And how we're going to move our hips without using our hips is we're going to move our knees. So move your knees backwards and forwards from side to side and just relax your hips. So we're generating the movement from somewhere else. And then we just relax the hips. We don't have to do anything. Yep. You do circles with your hips. Circles with your knees. Good, and circles back the other way. Put your knees side to side and let your hips relax. Knees forward and backwards. If you're online right now, and just say hello, just write a message, say hello to me, and I can say hello back because I can't see who's online. On YouTube, you can't actually see who's come online. So if you want me to say hello, just say hello and I'll say hello back. I'd always like to know who I'm teaching today, so it's always nice to write that down. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, that'd be great. And I can say hello. Cool. Now we're going to do the other way. Now we're going to move our knees, but we're going to use our hips to it. So we're swapping over who's actually driving what. So we're going to move our knees, then move our hips, and move our hips from side to side, and relax our knees and our ankles. So we do both at the same time, just by moving your hips from side to side. Very good. Then move your hips in circles, relax your knees. Move your hips backwards and forwards, let your knees relax. Good. we do our feet. So with this one, we're going to move our knee, and we're just going to flop our foot. Just have the foot hanging down, just like the wrist. Just have it flopping. You can make circles with it. Back the other way. Flop the foot. Back the other way. Just have the foot flopping down. Good. So now the knees, ankles, hips, spine, arms, everything, neck, everything just relaxed. Yeah. It's all activated, so by doing the exercise we've activated as well. But we're nice and relaxed, and we don't have any tension in them. Well, hopefully we don't have any tension anyway. That's the theory. We probably still have a bit, but it's okay. That's what we're here for. So just bow, put your hands on the side of your legs, roll back onto your thumbs. Bring your left hand underneath, right hand on top, 2 thumbs together. Gong, make a fist with your left hand, cover it with your right. Bring it towards your heart, then down to your physical center. Very cool. So we're going to go into an exercise that comes out of the Chen Style Tai Ji. And so Qigong is about moving, the understanding of Qigong is about moving the Qi around, and there's lots of Qigong systems to help move the energy around the body. Well, we're going to do a couple out of the Chen style, which is a Tai Chi practice, but there's a couple of exercises, which is like their Qigong exercises for their practice. And we're going to do one. We'll start with one of them because they're a little bit complicated. We'll start with one of them, and if we get through the two, we'll see how we go. We'll just start with one and see how we go, because they're both a bit tricky. So I might end up doing another one next week. See how we go. So I'll show you what it looks like. And then we can break it down into pieces. Yeah. So it's happening with every part of the body is moving. So I'm going to start this, and I'm going to show you what's happening. I'll show you the whole thing. Yep. This is one. Now that's one side, of course, and the other side it goes this way. Now, that looks relatively easy to do, but it's not. But we'll work it out. So we'll go back to the first one, which is going this way. Yep. So we're going to do one hand at a time, so make it easy for you. So we're moving our hips as we do this exercise. So the hand's going out, goes out, and it turns. And it's like, if you can imagine having, you've seen this in some of the Jackie Chan movies and the Jet Li movies, where one of them was they were moving water. He was sitting in a barrel. I can't remember. I think it was called Tai Chi Master, the one that Jet Li was in. And he had a big barrel of water, and he was sitting there, and he was moving the water around with his hand like that. It's the same exercise, but he was just using it. And so the teaching that I got was that it was like a big round wheel, and they used to grind the rice with it. And you sit there and you push the wheel around, and it's a big slab of rock, and it was on it and rotating, and put the rice underneath, and they crushed it all up and put it through the hole in the top. And so he's pushing the wheel around, and this thing was just grinding the rice up, yeah, like that, making flour out of it. And so we're doing that. But how he was doing, of course, you're moving your hips. You're not just moving your hand like that, because it looks funny if I do that. The whole body was moving, the hips were turning, and it was making the hand move. So if you can just practice that feeling of what that feels like, of moving this big round piece of rock, and it's spinning, and it's turning from side to side, and your hips are turning, and that turning motion is creating the movement of your arm. Yep. Like that. Very good. As I say, these are complicated, and as I say, we're just doing one side at the moment. But they're very, very powerful exercises, and they're very good exercises for getting the whole body moving all at the same time, and getting all the energy engaged, and all the meridians in the arms and the legs, and they're very cool exercises. I know when I first started doing this practice in New Zealand with Dr. Tree, who's a very, very proficient exponent of Chen Style Tai Chi. He was very, very good. I can't speak highly of George. George was a very, very unique human being, And his ability in his Qigong Tai Chi practice is pretty amazing. And I spent a few years with him. And he did this exercise, one of them. So this one hand, good. So now we're going to use the other hand. The other hand goes around and it turns. It goes around, comes back and then turns up underneath and goes over the top and then turns. Comes up, the palm comes up, goes over the back on top of the block and then spins the block around. Then it comes off the block, over, down and spins, because what's happening is the other hand has to come over this arm and then back onto the block, and then they both spin the block together. And as it comes around, this hand keeps turning it around, this hand comes off the block, over the top, back onto the block, and then it turns. Yep. So with one hand, it comes like that. Up, back onto the block, turning. Up, back on the block, turning. So we're doing that. And how you're bringing the hand up is it's coming from the elbow. The elbow is moving up as we're turning. The elbow comes up and the hand turns up. And then it keeps going around and then it goes back down again and then keeps turning the block. It comes up, down, turn. Up, down, turn. So if you think of the big block, think of the big stone. The big round stone comes up, big round flat stone, turn. Comes up, back on top of the block, turn. Comes up, back on the block, turn. Comes up, back on the block, turn. So in martial arts, there's lots of movements where you're doing this with people in the martial understanding of how this works. And you're turning people around. Yeah, you're blocking punches, you're turning them around, grabbing their head, you're turning, and there's lots of this motion when we do this sort of thing in Tai Chi. Turn. And the whole time the hips just keep turning. Turn. Turn. Now the turning is coming from the opposite hip. Now I'll make this easier again for you. So the hands that I'm using my left hand at the moment, you can be using your right because you can mirror me if you like. So this will be your right hand, and it's your left hip that turns. So my left hip is turning, and as it turns, it brings the hand around, comes across, I pendulum to the other side, comes up, and then I turn that hip again. Turn the left hip, comes around, comes up, goes down, turn the left hip. Comes pendulum across, comes up, down. So it's also, we're turning from the left hip, but we're also going backwards and forwards from side to side at the same time. I said it was a bit complicated. Turn. Change direction, comes up, down, turn. Pendulum across, hand comes up, back on the other side, turn. Hand comes up, hand goes down, turn. And we're using our left hip. Hand comes up, down, turn. And be okay if it looks a bit messy to start off with, because this is, as I say, it's not easy. Cool. So now we'll try and put those two together and see how we go. Good. Comes up, and then we'll start with those hands like this, and it goes around. This hand comes up. The forehead, this hand's just doing that. It's not doing anything else. It's just turning. Well, it's turning on the left side. It's turning every time we move out. If I'm doing it opposite to you, so I'm talking with my left arm. And I'm mirroring you, make it easy for you. And this is your left hip. And you're turning your left hip with your left arm, yeah? On that side. It comes across, and then you turn it that way. So this palm's down. And only the other hand comes up, down. They both turn together. Comes up, over the top of the hand, goes palm down, both turn together. Turn the palm up, over the hand, down, turn together. Come up, turn together. Good, that looks better. And be okay, this just takes a while, and remember it's all coming from the hips. So the rotation on the left hip. Move to the right hip, hand comes up. Move across, rotation on the left hip. Comes up, rotation on the left hip. Comes up, rotation. Now I'm going to add another piece to this. Cool. And try and keep your shoulders down as best you can. And if you just feel like you're turning this big piece of of rock and you're making it turn around. You can imagine it grinding round as you go around. Up, turn. Hand comes up, turns, the hand goes down, and then you go across. As you go across, you turn. So I'm going to show you the hip movement of that and make it easier for you again. So we're rotating because we're doing one side. We're just using the power on the right side, or the left side, because I'm mirroring you. So the left hip, we're doing that. We go across the right, we turn around, we come back, and then we turn again. We go across, turn, come back, and then the power comes on that side. Go across, just turn, come across, and the power turns it. Go across, turn, and the power turns it. So we have this motion, we go across, turn, across, and then the motion with the hand. Across, turn, motion with the hand. So I'm doing this so you can see what happens. Across and the hand turns. Go to the other side, turn, and then the hand goes around. So it's all that momentum's coming from the left hand and the left hip. And they're coordinated together with each other. Turn. Turn. Good. So it comes across. And as it goes across, then it starts turning. We go across, turn, goes across, and then it starts turning, which gives you the power. But we're not putting the power, because in theory, you could be doing one that way, and be toned, but we're not. We're just doing one side. So one of the sides is just to turn around and put you back on the other side. We're not generating power on the other side. We're generating power just on one side. So we're going across one side, the left side. Just comes across and turns, generate power into the left. So all the power of the turning has been generated into that movement. And then it's slow turn, generate power. Slow turn, generate power. Yep. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying. If you have any questions about this, please ask, and I can go into a bit more detail. Turn. Yep. And turn. Good. So that's what's happening. Cross, and then the power comes with that one. So both hands again. Power turn on the left. Hands up, hand down, power turn. Hand comes up, goes back on the block. Power turn with that. Comes up. Power turn. Very good. I could do this exercise for hours. It's such a beautiful feeling inside the body. Now there is a breathing pattern to this, so you can go back after you practice. I'll give you the breathing. But make sure you do the exercise, get the exercise pretty well worked out before you start putting the breath pattern to it. Otherwise the breath could mess it up. So you can imagine with the powers coming from on the left side as the left hand does its circle, then that's when it's going to be where the out breath is. So it's the breath out there. I'm going to breathe out through my mouth so you can hear, but you can breathe out through your nose. Breathe in. Breathe out. 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 Good. So now we've got that idea. So don't over-breathe. Now go back to breathing in and out through your nose. And just have the breath nice, smooth in-breath, nice, smooth out-breath, so that the duration of the in-breath and the duration of the out-breath is the same speed. If you got a bit lost with this, you can always go back to the video after we put it up, because we're recording it, we'll put it up and you can watch it again. It's a very, very, very good exercise, but it's not easy. Good. Now the next thing to do, just have you shake your arms out, just release your arms, release your shoulders, get rid of tension. So the next thing we're going to try and do is to get the wheel turning the same speed. So now we make it more tricky, because otherwise we're going to get this fast and then it's going to go slow, and then it's going to go fast and then it's going to go slow. But what we want to do is we want to get it going the same speed as we're moving from side to side. We want the thing moving the same speed so it doesn't slow down or speed up. And so if you can imagine, we're trying to keep the momentum of the wheel turning with the minimum amount of energy as possible. But if you slow down and then you've got to speed up, you use a lot of power. Slow down and speed up, a lot of power. So we're trying to do it so we're just keeping the momentum going of the wheel. So just you have to use a little bit of energy and just keeps it moving the whole time, right? Good. So now we're at both hands. So just think of that hand doing the same thing, going the same speed, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Good. Now we're going to add the other one. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Yeah, that's it. Good. And that's what we're trying to do. So it's smooth. So the whole movement is one piece. No speed up, no slow down. The hips are moving the same speed from side to side. But you can feel the generation of the power comes from the left hip. And all the left hips is turning enough just to keep the wheel going. Turns. And the left hip engages, turns the wheel. So the power's coming with the left hip driving it. And it gets the momentum, and then the left hip picks it up again and then turns it again. Move to the side. Turning. Very good. I reckon we'll try the other side, shall we? Just when we get things right, we're going to do the other one. Just to confuse you. It's okay. It's one of those confusing days today. Good. Just shake your arms out. So, opposite side. So now we're going to use the right arm and the right hip. So we're going to turn. So I'll disengage that arm for the moment. So yeah, so we're going to turn the hips. And we're going to do that way. Oops, hang on. Better get it right. I've got to actually think about this. Hang on. I've got to think about it myself. It goes that way. There you go. So circle, go, move onto your right hip and circle with your outside hand. Comes across, turn to your left. Back to your right and turn. Comes across. Back to your right and turn. So good. So that's the hips turning on your right side, the right hand's turning. Comes back, turn. So you're making a big motion with your arm, but it's happening because your hip's turning around and your arm's turning around. So we've got that idea. Your hip's turning that arm like that, yeah? On that side. Then go across the other side and then move. Perfect. So now the right hip's generating the energy in the movement. Turn on the right. Move across to the left and turn. Turn, generate the power on the right. Move to the left. Generate it on the right. So it's like we're doing a figure eight with our hips. Our hips are doing a figure eight. But the power's on the right hand side of the figure eight. We're doing this figure eight, but the power's on the right side. Keep doing that with our hips. I'm looking down. If we're doing this way, we do it that way. But the power's on the right side, and relax. Power's on the right side. And that's why they were doing the other way before. It was the opposite. Turn the hips, move the hand. You notice it generates lots of power when you do this. I'm really hot now. So it's generating lots of yang energy inside the body. And that's what it does. Good. So that's that hand. So the other hand is going to do the same thing. As it comes around, remember we're turning the wheel this way, not that way. We're going the opposite way, that way. So when the hand comes around, the left hand comes around, it turns up, goes over the other arm, goes down, and then they both turn again. So it comes up, over the arm, down onto the wheel, turns the wheel, comes around, comes up over the top and down and turns. Good. So then we have this turning. Turns on the right side. Comes up as we change, turns. Palm comes up, palm down, turn. Palm comes up, we go to the left. As we go to the right, turn. Palm comes up, over the top, down. Good. And when your body gets used to this movement, it's easy, but as I say, to start off with, because your body might have never ever done this in its whole life. And so you're learning new pathways, not only for your muscles and sinews, but for your arms, but you're learning new pathways for your mind as well, because your mind doesn't know how to do this either. Yep. Comes up over, turns. Up over, turns. Now we'll add the other hand. Up over, both hands turn. Over the top of the hand goes down. Turn to the right, both hands turn. Up over the hand, both hands turn. Turn. Up over the hand, turn. And if you get a bit stuck with it, just go back to one hand. Turn one hand, right hand, the right hand. Turn. Right hand, turn. Right hand, turn. So the power's coming with the turning of the right hip, and the right hand comes back. Right hand, turn, then go back to the other side, turn. Right side, turn. Left side, turn. Right side, turn. And you can always go back to doing one hand at a time to get used to what this feels like. Good. If you want to, then you can do the other side, where you're just doing the other side, doing turn, up, down, turn, palm up, palm down, turn, palm up, palm down, turn, palm up, palm down, turn. So we're changing side, palm up, palm down, turn. Cool. Very good. Well done for hanging in there. Turn. Up over the top. Well done. We say these are advanced lessons, that's why this exercise is difficult. It can take you a long time to get this exercise proficient, and be okay with that. Very cool exercise. There is a few variations to this, but I'm not going to show you them. I'll just show you the basic one. Turn. Palm up, palm down, 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 turn. Very good. We'll see how skillful we are, shall we? We'll go. Just shake your arms out. Have a rest. Go back to the other side. So you can, the easiest way to start, of course, is to turn your hip and do one hand, so you get the idea of how to do this. Otherwise you get confused now, because we're going backward and forward. So we do one hand. When you get the idea of one hand, then you can start the other hand, and you can do the other hand. So this is, we're doing the left hand turns. Left hand, the hand's flat down, and we're just doing a left hip, turn to the right, go to the right, then the left hip turns, go to the right, left hip turns. Good. And then you can bring the hand up. Both hands turn. Cross. Palm. Palm up. Palm down, turn. 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 So the whole time we've been doing this, we've been exercising our hips. We've been exercising our knees. We've been exercising our ankles, our shoulders, our neck, our spine, the articulation of both arms, because we're learning how to articulate the arms at the same time. We're working out how to move the shoulders through generating through the power from the hips. So all this is happening at the same time. We're learning how to relax the elbows, how to relax the hands. We're learning how to turn the hand over and put it down. So we're learning how to turn hands up and then turn hands around. So we're doing this. Yeah, we're doing this idea of this, which is very part of Tai Chi. It's part of martial arts, of course, as well, when you're blocking punches and grasping arms. So there you go. So we're up to, we're doing the right, aren't we? Do a couple more times of this, and we'll do a couple on the left, and that'll keep you confused for the day. Well, not necessarily confused, because some of you will be able to do this exercise really easily. If you've done a bit of body work, and if you've done a bit of Tai Chi and Qigong, you'll be able to pick this up a bit easier. Good. Good. And the other side, just stop and go back the other way. You wanted to see that transition, didn't you? Okay, hang on. We'll go back the other way. We're this way. And the transition happens when you go from one side to the other. As it goes out, then it comes back. And then starts turning the other way. There you go. This one's just doing one circle, the other one's going palm up, palm down, turn. Palm up, palm down, turn. Turn. Palm up, palm down, turn. So when we move across is then when it turns. Yep. Comes this side, and then if we go back to the right, then we turn. Come up, go to the right, turn. So perfect. There you go. Turn. There you go. And relax. There you go. Feel energized now, feel great. Either that or confused. Either or. And it's not easy, as I say, it's not easy to do, and I'm a bit dyslexic from childhood, so these exercises are fantastic for me because it helps stimulate the right and left brain stimulation, so they start talking to each other. So it's a really good exercise for that as well. If you have a little bit of trouble with it, so just persevere if you can, and the more you persevere, the more you get that, the more that this trust, and then your mind's working differently as well. And it's a very, very good crossover exercise you can do to help stimulate that. Very good. Have a beautiful day. It's so hot here. I'm hot now, but that exercise generates lots of power. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next week. And if you have any questions about this exercise, please just write it in the comments. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Very cool. We just started our 200-hour online teachers training today. This over a 9-week period. If you ever want to know Qigong and understand Qigong at a higher level, come and do the teachers training. And not this, you don't necessarily have to be a teacher, but if you want to increase your level of your Qigong practice, come and do one of those courses. They're phenomenal. Talk about a lot about TCM practice, understanding 5 elements and yin-yang theory, and all about the medical applications of all the Qigong exercises and how it works and how it creates health in your body. The course is amazing. It has meditations. It has all sorts of things inside the course that's really useful. Yeah, it's a great course, and it's just started. But come and do one, and as I say, whether you want to be a teacher or not. If you want to be a teacher, it gives you 3 different systems that you learn that you can teach, or you can just do it for your own self-practice. Yeah, well, just a bit of promotion today. Anyway, I just want you to do Qigong, so I'm just want to encourage you. Roll back on your thumbs. 2 thumbs together. Gong. Make a fist with your left hand, cover with your right. Bring it towards your heart. I think Qigong is one of those wonders of the world. So I want everybody to practice it. It brings you into a very different experience of life. And I think that's really important to understand we're bigger than we think we are. Energetically, we're huge. And I want to teach people, because somebody showed me how that feels inside your body, and it's remarkable. Have a beautiful week, everybody, and I'll see you next week. and keep doing the circles. Keep practicing the circles. And as I say, if you have any questions, please ask me. Bye-bye.